Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the MicroOnda Podcast, the show that proudly brings you top music, news, and more. Here are your hosts, Mundo, Johnny Quest, and M.A. the Engineer. Solo en el MicroOnda.
Yo. Muy buenas noches, buenos días, buenas tardes. What's going on? It's the MicroOnda Podcast Show. I'm your host, Mundo. We got Johnny Quest, Marvin, M.A. the Engineer. What's good, fellas? What's happening? What's popping, yo?
What's going on, brother?
We're good, chilling, yo. Everybody had a great week?
Had an awesome week, man. I couldn't complain, man.
All right, yeah. We just, today's November 26th. We got a lot of things, a lot of cosas para hablar aquí en el show, a lot of things to talk about on the show, on the program today.
Also got a guest today.
We also got a guest, our returning guest, one of our favorite guests, our homeboy, our brother, Chico.
Chico, make some noise.
What's up, boy? What's up? Tell me.
Good. We out here and stuff. You know what I mean? We got a lot of things to discuss about. I don't even know where we should start, yo. Where should we go?
Episode 5.
It's episode 5.
Right.
Yeah.
And
what do we call this episode?
I'm gonna call this the FIDEL episode. We're gonna. Obviously, that's the big news today.
Yeah, big news.
Our guest is here to talk with us today to share some of his experiences on the island and a different point of view, which I think that is necessary because.
Right.
I don't know if you guys have been on social media and on the news. You've been seeing people cheering in Miami,
right?
But here in DC, there've been a lot of people, Salvadorians, Nicaraguans, outside the embassy, paying respect,
right?
And other Cubans. So there's always two sides to this thing,
right?
You know what I mean? So I think that I'm glad Chico's decided to come on today to help us, talk about it. Oh, wow. See, this is...
This what's up. Right now we haciendo un brindis with the Havana Club, straight from Cuba, yo.
Just finished doing a toast.
Yeah, just doing a toast. So salud to everybody out there listening. It's great that we get to hear a point of view and stuff like that, because this is a different point of view that a lot of folks aren't used to hearing and stuff.
Absolutely.
So I think it's real important. Chico explains to us the side of the story, and we see and we'll get into it. I don't even know how to start. Where do we start?
So let's start with your thoughts. Like, how do you feel now that we found out that Castro passed away on Friday? How do you feel, you as a Cuban? How do you feel about this event?
Well, the first, any human beings has you have to show respect. That's a real leader. He being in power for so long, people respect him so much that we have to show him a little bit of respect now that he passed. So that's the number one thing for me. You have to respect the years that he been fighting for, not only for Cuba. He been fighting for many other countries and help other countries. And for example, Africa, he be around Ethiopia, Angola. He sell soldier there. He sell doctors everywhere, man. Our doctor, our doctors. He build doctors not only for Cuba. He built doctors for the whole world. That's the number one thing that he has. He share his doctors with anyone who needs help and health service. So every time something happening around the world, Castro has the number one crew on front of the lines to help anybody, no matter who you are, no matter what kind of belief you have, what kind of religion, what kind of how you are. If you are communist or if you are, it don't matter. He was a really strong leader. Right. Really powerful. People love him. Only one country don't like him like that, but the rest of the world love Castro.
So you would say that the loss of or death of Fidel Castro was lost to the world, and it was a big loss that that Cuba will feel the impact of a loss of a leader, or would you say the opposite?
Well, I don't know. In my opinion, like, is really strong person, and I have the pleasure to meet him when I was a kid.
Wow.
So you have when you see that man, out of mind, you get like a shock, because his personality is so strong, and he's a strong man.
How old were you when you met him?
I was 7 the first time I see him, and right there.
Okay.
And I was like, what? He went to my school, and he used to get his sobrino. How you say sobrino? Nephew.
Yeah.
He used to get his nephew, like normal. Like Cuco is one of my best friends now. So we used to go to school when Mo was little. He used to pick him up from school, and I was like, wow, And the first time I see him, I was like, he looks so tall, and his beard, everything, his personality, it was just like a strong man,
Right.
There's nobody can mess with him.
You felt the essence.
Yeah, man.
So your friend was Fidel's nephew?
Fidel,
Okay.
So when he came to pick him up from school, what was that like? Was it was it a caravan of cars,
No, man.
or was it
No,
simple?
no. Simple guy, man. He got a Jeep. Maybe like 3 guys in the Jeep, a driver and 2 more.
Okay. So no crazy entourage or nothing like that?
This is the guy who used to walk Malecon. Nobody else. Like, he tell the guards, like, stay in the car, I'll walk. Nobody do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So no Secret Service kind of stuff like over, like, like a president would.
He is a president, so he has
Okay.
Secret Service around him and all that. But he was so confident, with his own country,
Right.
that he never scared to walk around.
Wow.
In his own country. Yeah. People respect him now.
Right.
Really respect. They have real respect for him.
What time did you find out that he had passed?
It was like maybe like 11 o'clock.
So you found out 11 this morning or last night?
Last night.
At 11 p.m.?
Yes.
And what was your first feeling that you
Man, I start crying, man. And I was crying today. I was crying maybe like an hour ago. I don't know. It feels so bad because when you grow, you see people and you think they're really good, but then you find out that they have sex harassment with employee, or they have political problem, they sell information, stuff like that.
Right.
With this guy, is a real straight leader.
Destroying emails?
You're not gonna have no bullshit like that, like
Right.
that you see Hillary with the bullshit paper, that she sells, switch information.
And Donald
whatever.
Trump has accused her saying that he raped them or sexually abused them.
You never hear nothing like that with him.
Right.
That's true.
That's a dude that you gonna, if you don't like him,
He didn't have
don't
no
care.
scandals, nothing like that. And
Or
stuff.
you're gonna have all the people saying that he was not good for the country or whatever.
Right.
But that's his belief from
Right.
day one.
Right.
He don't switch.
He was
anything.
firm. He was firm
Yeah,
with
it was
his
straight up
ideas and stuff.
since that day one.
Right.
So that's what I like from him, that he never changed.
Right.
And for money, for nothing, he don't change. He was like that since day one. And he died like that, man.
Yeah.
He died like a princess.
Yeah.
He's a king.
Right.
For me, he's a king.
Yeah. How did you find out?
I called my mom and she told me that my dad, he was on uniform with all his medal. And she said something big happened. So she don't know. Nobody know till 10:30 last night. So
Okay.
my dad, he fight with him in the mountains, and he put his uniform and put all his medals and went outside.
Is he in Cuba?
Yeah, he's in
Okay.
Cuba.
Your dad was a soldier?
Yeah, he is.
Okay, and he fought in the revolution.
So why is there a divide between how Cubans look at Castro? What is that? Like, what they know, half the country feels like.
Yeah, like the ones in Miami feel a certain
Yeah,
way.
this-
And
that's
so
the thing.
why do you think?
You know,
that?
you can have a different opinion about someone.
Yeah.
It don't have to be, like I say, you don't have to be my friend.
Yeah,
But you also have to respect a man who fight for his own idea,
exactly.
Right.
you know, and fight for it. Then you work for him, but because he don't like the way you work, he fired. But you live with him for 30, 40 years. Then you decide not to continue do what he tell you to do. Now you become his enemy. But when you was on his side, you was making money, you was living good.
Yeah.
Now you decide to leave to Miami, get in Miami and talk all. If you look around, all those people who lives in Miami and who talk about him, they used to be part of his own crew. They decide not to be part of that anymore, and they switch.
But why is it then? Why is it like? Is there a reason behind political views? Is it more?
Does it have to do with the embargo?
Yeah.
Because sometimes, what I think is, this is the way I think. Sometimes other people commit mistakes and do stuff wrong in the wrong way. So you don't know. I'm not gonna say that he was always right, because people make mistakes.
yeah.
Of course, just like
Human
presidents.
Man, he was 80%
Okay.
right. You know, most of the time he was right, and whatever he said, it happens. He tell we gonna open relation with United States when we have a Spanish papa and a black president in United States. He say that when maybe like 30 years ago, and that's what happened. That's what happened now with Obama. So we're gonna open relationship with U.S. when we have a Spanish, a pop, and black president. 30 years ago.
Right. That he said that.
That he said that.
But I was researching that, and that story might be false.
No, it's true.
He
It's
did.
true.
When and where did he say it?
He said it in Havana.
Is there a speech? Is there like an actual recording? Is it actually documented?
No, somebody from U.S. asked him,
Okay, all right.
and that's the answer.
Because I started Googling that, because I saw that and stuff, and I was like, well, is this true and stuff or not and stuff? And then there are some sites that are saying that may actually be false and stuff. It may not be true, but I don't know.
See, a lot of stuff with him, because you can record it when you talk to him.
Right.
Nothing be recorded.
Yeah.
So you can have an interview with him.
Yeah.
He used to give you the interview,
Yeah.
but no camera.
Right.
So that's what everyone who has interviewed Castro, it feels so special, because he has the answer for those questions that nobody else know.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So you're the only one has those answers.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
So when you say something, people have to believe you.
Right.
And if you sit one-on-one with him, why you gotta lie about something that you talk to them,
Right,
man?
right.
You're so excited, you don't have time for that.
Right.
You know, you're gonna say everything you hear from his voice. So I don't know. For me, he was one of the biggest men in the world.
All right.
So how do you feel about his brother taking over country? How do you think that's going to
It's
go?
the same thing.
Think it's the same thing?
Yeah, same thing.
How do you
Same heart, man.
What's is Raul Castro his only brother, or is there more brothers and sisters?
No, a couple other brothers, but one of them died already. Like maybe last year, or the year before last year.
Okay.
Yeah. So They have a sister also. She lives in Miami, and Raul. But the one in the government is Raul. He took over, and he's doing the same thing. He's doing a very good job.
Okay. Now, the sister that's in Miami, what's her story?
Yeah, she's not so happy with them, both of them. So she wrote a book, and she was talking about the relationship between them. But she never said anything wrong. She was talking about the personal side, the personal life. They was not matching. She was not happy with the way everything turned.
Okay.
But everybody has the same, different opinion.
Right.
You got your own opinion, so you can't.
Right.
I cannot force you to feel the same way I feel.
Right. Right.
The good thing about this country is that people respect, whatever your opinion is.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's true.
Yeah.
So how do you feel like relationships with the United States are going to go forward now? Like, do you think it's going to be a big change here in the U.S. versus everything in Cuba, or do you think it's pretty much going to stay the same?
See, U.S. realized that they losing time, and they know that Cuba is a powerful place to have relation, and be friend with, because they know they have a lot of stuff they can use to control anything, and U.S. love to control everything.
Right.
So they know that Cuban is a good point to control a lot of stuff around the world. If you're in Cuba, you're gonna have the whole Caribbean controlled by, With the little piece that they got now, Guantanamo, they have good control. Imagine if they have relationship with the whole island.
Right.
So they got the Panama, Mexico, all that. Cuba is in the middle, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, what's the reason that a lot of Cubans that they flee Cuba and try to create on any kind of boat and escape? What's the reason of that? Are they receiving certain information?
A lot of immigrants, they don't know. It's not only with Cubans, it's just with everybody.
Right.
When you in your country, you young, maybe you go to school, maybe you in college, you see your neighbors who went to U.S. and come back, and it looks good, it looks clean, you dream about that. So you jump in the water or cross the border, and when you get here, you realize that that's not everything is like everybody says, and then it's shock.
Right. It's not the 90210 que fue pintado.
Is that like?
So you have to work, you have to do everything, and then you get shocked. You be like, man, that I go back, but it's too late. Then you hear it. So how can you go back?
Right.
Right. But you have a lot of people who say, man, I'm going back to my country, and they gone.
Well,
they don't care.
What made you want to come? Like when you got here, what was?
I was so young that I don't even remember.
How old were you?
I was 14, man.
14.
Yeah. I was so young that I don't even know. I was young, and when you're young, you just think about tennis shoes, T-shirt, movies, music.
Because you're doing what the other kids your age are doing and stuff, right?
You're not worried about politics. Yeah. I was like, man, I want a bike, a new bike,
right,
and a nice tennis shoes,
right.
But when you get here, you realize that what I do.
Yeah.
I want to go back with my mom and my family.
So when you were 13 or 12 in Cuba, were you thinking about, I want shoes and a bike as well, or it was a different mentality?
Nah, it's like any kids, man. Everywhere you want a bicycle, you want, a game, you want tennis shoes. My son born in U.S., man. He wear Nike Jordans, like $200 Jordans. I never in my life I can afford to do that.
Right.
Not here. in Cuba.
Right.
So I never think about where, but I always see that in TV. So I was like, man, look. And you young, you don't know better.
Right.
But when I come here, I don't know anything about, I know my dad was a big man in Cuba, so.
Yeah.
And I always see him different. And like, for me, he was like God. He looked good in the uniform. He had so much respect for everybody. So I don't know.
So what was the moment where you decided, like, you know what, I'm gonna just leave everything behind and go to America? Like, what was that moment?
No, I was coming from the club one night.
At 14?
At 14?
Yeah.
Damn.
Jesus.
I was going to club at 14.
Yeah. But that used to be like teenager club.
Like a teenage,
Yeah, they said
like
the teenage club, the underage club.
I mean, was there drinking going on?
No.
But you would take your drinks and drink.
We used to drink outside. We used to drink outside.
So I didn't mean to cut you. So you were saying that you were leaving the club, and then what happened?
And I was driving my bicycle with my girlfriend, and we saw this boat, and I said, man, look. So I see all these people jumping in the water and trying to get on top of the boat. So I tell her, this is people who are going to leave. Let's go. And she said, nah, I'm not going to go nowhere. I'm not going to leave my family. I said, okay. So I jump in the water. The next day I was locked up in Guantanamo Bay for 2.5 years.
Wait, so you were in Cuba at the time?
Yeah.
And you tried to flee?
Yeah, I jump in the water. We was in the I live it by the water, by the ocean.
Right.
So my neighborhood is right there in the water.
Okay.
So I was sitting, relaxing with my girl right there,
one day with her.
And I saw the boat, the speeding boat. I said, man, these people is gonna leave to U.S. Let's go. And she said, no, I'm not going.
So she didn't want to go.
No, she don't.
Right.
She said, no, I'm not gonna leave my mom. I said, okay. Boom, I jump in the water.
So you're like, let me go jump
I
in
said,
the boat.
whatever.
Right.
Boom, so I jump in the boat. The next day at 12 o'clock.
Wait. Before you go there, why did you want to jump on the boat?
I did it for, like crazy.
Just for the hell of it. You're like,
No, and I always say, I want to go to the U.S.
What made you want to go to the U.S.? Like, what was it that...
I have 2 brothers. I have 1 brother and 1 sister here.
Okay.
They come in 1980.
Okay, so they were already in the U.S. and
they came Mariel.
The Mariel, yeah.
Okay.
So they always send me a little bit of money, a little bit of clothes.
Right.
So I said, one day I'm going to go visit them, and but I don't know that it was going to be like that. You
didn't think too much.
No.
Right.
And I was young. I was crazy. I said, man, I jump in the water, swing to the boat, get on top of the boat.
Right.
Boom. The next day at 12 p.m., I was in Guantanamo Bay. And
how did they? Because you said it was a speedboat.
Yeah, they
how did they catch the speedboat?
They stopped us.
And who's that?
What was it, like a Coast Guard?
Yeah, the Marine. They have like big boats, but they have a medium-sized boat. It was like a speeding boat from the Marine.
Oh, so they stopped you guys.
And
so it was the U.S. Marines or the
U.S. Marine, and they got the shooting. They have guns and all that.
So everything was.
And they told me, look, man. And they don't tell me. They tell the guy, the old man who was driving the boat.
Right.
Said, man, you don't stop. We're gonna shoot the boat.
Okay.
So everybody, he stopped because it was like 6-7 kids. So we jumping in the U.S. Boat.
Well, I'm sorry, how many people were in this
29.
speedboat? 29 people in the speedboat.
29 people.
What kind of speedboat? Was it like a Miami Vice kind of speedboat or like a bay liner?
I really don't remember.
Okay, all right.
See, the day we jumping, I jumped. It was nighttime. It was like around 1 o'clock a.m.
Okay.
So I don't see the boat.
Right.
So when I was on top of the boat, I don't even.
So you don't know what you're getting on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they put us in the Coast Guard boat. They take us to Guantanamo Bay.
Okay.
And I stayed there for 2.5 years.
Wow.
They sent us to Panama. Then we coming back from Panama.
Why did they send you to Panama?
I don't know. They said that they was open a little bit, so they want to send a little bit to Panama, third countries. So
Wait, who sent you to Panama? The U.S. Coast Guard?
Yeah, U.S. government.
Okay.
They take us to Guantanamo Bay, and then
from Guantanamo you go to Panama.
Yeah, from Guantanamo we went to Panama.
Okay.
They said, look, we're gonna send a couple people to Panama and see if the government, keep you guys. So I went to Panama. We fight in Panama. The government said, we don't want this guy. This guy, they crazy.
Right.
We blow the whole camp. Blow the cars, the Jeep, the military Jeeps, all that. So they said, no, we don't want these people here. So they sent us back to
Panama. Ruckus in Panama.
What? We blow everything.
Damn.
Yeah.
What, the jail over there? Or
it was a jail.
Wow.
They do like a camp.
Okay.
So we blow everything and walk away to a city.
Damn.
The police was looking for all the Cuba.
Right.
Yeah, because we don't have nobody there. It was locked up with yellow overalls, like orange overalls.
Right.
So it was like Scarface, like that, like a camp, like a prison camp.
Exactly.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah.
So that way, we went back to Guantanamo. I said, man, so I stayed there to the last flight. I was in the last flight. So
Where were they sending from Guantanamo? Or were they sending
Miami.
To Miami.
Yeah, to Miami. And then I was like, man, but my heart was like, man, I'm not going back. They always give you a paper, so sign here and say if you want to go back, because I was a minor. So if you want to go back, they let you go back. But I said, man, I'm not going back.
What'd your mom say?
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, my mom was like, she was crying. Like the first time I see her after I go back to Cuba.
Imagine that ass whooping coming back to Cuba.
She was like, man, motherfucker, you made me cry for a whole year because they don't know anything about me.
That's what I was going to ask. So this whole time, like
for a whole year.
For a whole year, you didn't contact your mom at all?
You could have been missing, kidnapped, or...
That's it. They don't.
Whatever,
she don't know anything about me for a whole year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
After that, they classified me. They give me all my papers.
Now,
that's when they give me a call.
Now, because you mentioned the U.S. were the ones that caught you, right? Mm-hmm. Now, is the Cuban government, are they aware that you guys were captured?
Yeah. They have. I think they have like a convenient. They do like agreement.
Okay.
The CASTRO let people go to U.S. And U.S. keep it.
Okay.
But U.S. have an issue when in Mariel in the 80s. They have a problem with so many. It was like 131,000 people coming in the same time.
Right.
So U.S. say, you know what? This time we're going to control that.
Right.
We're not going to let them come in one time. We're going to shoot a little bit in different cities in U.S.
Right.
And then when everybody comfortable, then we give papers and everything. Right. Now, so that's what happened.
Now let me ask you. So when people flee Cuba and on the way, if they get caught, what happens when they get caught?
If it's in the water, they gotta go back.
They go back to Cuba, and what happens to them when they go back to Cuba?
They stay in.
Do they get locked up? Do they?
They do. They be like 2-3 weeks locked up, like investigation.
Okay.
Why they do it? Why they, stuff.
But
like
not. They don't get. Do they get tortured? Do they get something bad? Nothing. Okay.
I know people who trying to escape maybe 3-4 times.
Okay.
Nothing. It's a regular procedure.
Okay. So it's nothing like they're. See, there's been myths that have been created and told me that if you get captured and you go back, you get killed, or you get locked up for a long time, or something like that.
That's what happened when people talk and they don't know. Every time I see somebody talking, I say, "How many times you been in Cuba?" Oh, I never been. So don't talk to me about Cuba. Right. You don't know anything about Cuba.
Right.
So you need to go.
Check the facts and stuff, yeah.
To talk to me about Cuba.
Right.
Because I know how it works, you know.
But we got people like Pitbull, for example, who go on record saying, fuck Fidel, what he did to my family.
When he born in Miami?
Yeah. But he was talking about how
he's anti-Castro and stuff.
Yeah, but of course he's from Miami.
Yeah.
But yeah,
he don't even know whether he's empty.
Yeah, because then he came out on record saying that I guess Castro caused the whole pain for him and his family trying to come out here, and so I don't know. That's just, for me, it seems like there's a divide between the Cuban community about understand where Castro is, and what side of the.
How some people say that Cubans on the island are brainwashed to like love Fidel, like they're taught about the revolution.
Mm-hmm.
In the same way,
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Cubans in Miami, same. This is what they're taught from little kids,
Right.
To hate Castro, to hate. So it's the same thing,
Right,
Right. So how can you judge people on the island, but you don't judge Cubans in Miami?
I agree.
You hate Castro, but you smoke Cuban cigar, motherfuckers.
Right? No, but man.
But the hate comes from somewhere, though.
That's just taught. It's just taught. Like it's taught, and from generation on, and because a lot of the Cubans in Miami been there for generations and generations and generations, and they're the ones that are like the first ones that fled. That had like the businesses and that. So they had like their lives were there, and that they're upset that they left all that behind, because a lot of them came with
all
nothing.
of them has a problem because their grandparents,
Right.
they lose so much stuff. They create that like a hate, and they inject them that to the young generation. So they don't even know Cuba. They never be in Cuba. I have friends in Miami. They never be in Cuba. They talk so bad about Cuba that I said, man, how many times you been in Cuba? Oh, I'm never gonna go to Cuba. I said, man, you talk like that about Cuba? You don't know Cuba.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I take one of my friends to Cuba, and he switched completely his idea, the way he would think about Cuba.
Yeah.
And you can ask him. So he switched his whole mentality about Cuba.
Yeah.
Because it's what you see, man, is different.
No, exactly. I mean, for me, like, I've always been pro Castro, and I've had arguments with people saying, like, because I know during when Castro came to power in Cuba, he cleaned up the country. He took out the mafia guys, drugs were coming in. And
because American
He don't
gangsters.
mess with that, man.
Yeah.
He don't mess with that.
So-
Man, let me tell you something.
So that
A
was
dude who
good.
give you a free education and free medical,
Yeah,
he's a good dude, man.
exactly. And plus, you see all these surrounding countries where
You know what U.S. do to their own citizen? They give you money so you stay poor. Not only poor, and how you say economy, like
Economically,
economically, when you poor, you don't have money. But when you poor in your mentality, that's worth.
Right.
Yeah,
You
It's
know?
like I've had friends like from Africa that they always say it's like stop sending food money over there to Africa and stuff. They don't need that. Instead, they need resources so that they can build and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I kind of understand.
That man give you free education, man.
Yeah.
Not high school education like here. They tell you go to public school here.
become a doctor.
You going in Cuba, and you're going to be a doctor if you want to be a doctor. And you don't have to be Cuban.
Yeah.
We was talking today in the embassy to a guy from El Salvador.
Yeah.
He went to Cuba and he was in the medical school in Cuba, and he was there for 8 years, paid $0.
Yeah, I have an uncle who
And he become a doctor, man. He was talking, and he appreciate that.
Right.
Yeah.
So how can you tell, and how can you say that man is bad when he give you a free education?
Right.
It's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
And then you have these people here, they give
They
you
get education, they get paid, they get stuck in a
He's given
loan, and
free scholarships to like people. Americans.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think in 1998 he was.
Can you believe? That's what he said.
Harlem.
This is what he said. Like 3 years ago, how can a powerful country like U.S. cannot have free education for everyone?
Especially for medical, out of all things.
Right.
You would think you would want people to be educated on your health.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, like now people are waking up like, okay, yeah, you shouldn't eat processed food and whatnot, you know what I mean? And you know, eating more healthy and stuff. After the whole time we've been, you know what I mean? Like folks here been eating bad and whatnot. You know?
Yeah, he was given, 100% paid scholarships to Americans. In 1998, he started. He spoke in Harlem. And he said, like, this is what I want to do. Like, the American, there's need for doctors. Because his idea is that, you know, he would train people and teach people and open up his schools to be doctors. But in return, you don't pay anything. Free room, free board, free education, the whole ride.
Right.
In exchange, and it was a 5-year program, I think the first year you learn Spanish, and then the other 4 years you learn like the nuts and bolts about being a doctor. But in return, all he asked for was just for you to go to underprivileged areas and to practice medicine for those, the poor, and those that don't get the medicine. And that was his idea.
Right.
No, but here we're still convoluted with the healthcare system. That's what's ruining the medical.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I dated a girl.
Which is a big thing today in politics.
I dated a girl like maybe like 10 years ago or 15 years ago. I don't even remember. She owed so much money. She went to school and graduated, and she owed more money than she can't even buy a house. Because what she owed and what she was making, she can't pay both a mortgage and a student loan.
Right.
Can you believe that?
Right.
So after you graduate from a school,
So what does that force you to do?
you have so much stress.
Right.
You can't even practice
Right.
properly because you have a problem in your personal life.
Right.
You know?
That's true. So that forces people to get stressed. They have to go seek a second job.
That's
and they
when
go
people
crazy
make a
and stuff.
mistake.
Yeah.
Look, we don't have a lot of resources in Cuba, but how many bad practice you hear in Cuba? We invented the cancer, the lung cancer shot and they start using it in New York right now.
Wow.
So how many people you see? We don't have a lot of stuff, but you don't hear. You go and see a doctor in Cuba, and he look in your stomach. He tell you, without make you take an X-ray. He tell you what you have, because there's so much, like, in the human side, they don't care about making money with the X-ray. And here you come to ER, and they take you to do X-ray, ER, you know, all that, because it's money, whatever.
Let me ask you, where did all of the education information come from, the health in Cuba? Like, how did they become so resourceful with medical doctors?
The Havana University is one of the bigger universities in Latin America. So they have all the power to.
Right, but how did they obtain those resources? Because obviously
you got the World Health Organization too.
Yeah.
Just because they're Cuban, just because we.
And the rest of the world, they believe in
so
Cuban the Cuban education, so they support hard.
Okay.
Just because America doesn't fuck with Cuba doesn't mean the world doesn't.
Yeah,
The world does.
No, the whole world, they focus on medical in Cuba.
Right.
So they help Cuba. They bring computers, they bring programs, they bring books, everything, man.
So was it just the U.S. that had like
You mean the embargo?
like an embargo?
It's not U.S., man. It's not U.S. It's the Cubans in Miami. It's not U.S.
Yeah, I agree.
No,
but were there other countries as well?
No.
But think about it too. During that time, we had
The missile crisis.
but that's because we didn't want anybody else to have nuclear weapons.
Right.
And when Fidel was one of the first saw it, where a country can't. He saw that a country if America was going to have nuclear weapons, they couldn't be the only ones with it because they couldn't be trusted with it.
Right.
That's why Fidel went to the Russians because the Russians had them. When he went to the Chinese had them.
Yeah.
And that's what the same problem we see with Iran and Iraq and all that stuff. That we have problems with them because of nuclear weapons.
Right.
And we want to take them away.
Yeah, the U.S. wants to put their
Exactly.
bases everywhere, but
So-
they won't allow
So the easiest way
other
to
countries to put bases.
the easier
here.
way to stop the world from fucking with Cuba is saying, hey, we can't fuck with these guys because this is what they're trying to do, something evil.
Yeah.
And at the end, they just wanted to be up to date in the arms race,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So that's the whole, I think, the whole reason why we don't. The relationship between the U.S. and Cuba has been kind of flawed throughout years and years of our history.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that the U.S. had a lot of investments here,
It's exactly too.
and so
Because think about
with all the money that they lost, you know,
'cause if
you had the United Fruit Company that was based in Cuba. You had, you know,
Yeah, but-
a bunch of like the casinos,
Right.
property. It was just a lot.
If you believe that the CIA brought cocaine to the United States, where do you think the cocaine was coming through? It was going through Cuba during that time,
Yeah.
time period.
Yeah.
So Castro, when he came into power, was like, look, none of that. We don't want any of this. We're going to clean up the country. Fuck the mafia. Fuck all these guys. We're opening up casinos. And because all that was bringing to Cuba was bad people.
Right.
So he kicked them all out. And then America, obviously America's losing money.
Yeah.
The mafia had so much influence in the political system here in the United States. So of course the United States was going to come in and say, hey, no, we can't be doing that.
Right.
So when Castro fought back, the U.S. wasn't happy.
Right.
So it's just there's a bunch of equations that came into play in that time era. But now it seems like now people like at least Obama or like the Obama administration is trying to open the doors and see because like you said, Cuba has almost one of the best healthcare in the world.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
and I mean, they've made advances in medicine for a
Exactly.
country that doesn't have, the technology
Right.
to match other nations. I think they were the first nation to come up with a way where a mother that has AIDS doesn't pass it on to the baby. I think they came up with that.
That's right.
And also the lung cancer. So they've made advances in medicine.
Right.
For a small nation.
Think about
The specs that people has like the white, what is it called? Vitiligo. Vitiligo.
Yeah.
They have the
Medicine?
the medicine for that.
So they could have fixed Michael Jackson.
Yeah. It's stupid, man.
Rest in peace, Michael Jackson.
Can I say something in Spanish, man?
Please.
Hágale.
Okay. The only thing, yo quiero decirle a todo el pueblo cubano que por favor, que por una vez y para siempre, unámonos, caballeros. Somos más, somos muchos unidos y vamos a hacer más por nuestro país. Estamos educados, tenemos la mejor arma del mundo, que es la educación. Tenemos que unirnos para poder sacar a nuestro pueblo adelante, que es lo principal, lo fundamental. No hay más nada. Las ideas son particulares, se reservan, las comparte con quien la quiera, quien la comparta con usted. Pero no tienes, únete a tu hermano, dale la mano al próximo cubano que tú encuentres y vas a ver que todo va a ser mejor. Porque eso es lo único que necesitamos. Educación nos sobra, nos falta la unión. Somos más unidos. No necesitamos que otra persona halague, que nos diga que los cubanos somos inteligentes. Tenemos que darnos cuenta nosotros mismos, y dándonos cuenta nosotros mismos nos vamos a arreglar nosotros mismos a nuestro país. No dejemos que nadie ayude, ayudémonos nosotros mismos. Es lo único que le pido. Hay una sola bandera y 3 colores. Y la madre tuya es la tuya y la mía es la mía, pero es cubana. ¿Ok? So vamos a estar muy, muy fijos en eso. Donde quiera que estemos, en cualquier parte del mundo, no importa si eres en China, en Alemania, en Estados Unidos, en Europa, somos cubanos, hermano. Somos cubanos y hay una sola bandera. Gracias y que Dios los bendiga a todos.
Respect.
Por igual.
Respeto.
Right. Respect. Yeah. So, speak of the health. What did Castro die from?
No, they didn't say what
¿De
he
qué se
died
murió?
of. I know he had the stomach.
Yeah,
issue.
but they're not clear yet with that. So they're gonna do a whole
Autopsy.
review.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's been ill.
He lived a long time, 90 years old.
He got
90
sick.
years, man.
Wow.
I was there in 2006, and the day that I came back is the day that he got sick,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo,
He was 6 cents.
How many cigars do you think he smoked a day?
and that was
Back in the day, he used to smoke like 4.
Yeah. Wow.
The Cohibas get popular because of him.
Right, right.
Because the Cohibas, they not the best cigar in Cuba, but they get real popular because he used to smoke Cohiba.
What's the best cigar in Cuba?
I don't know, so many. People like Romeo Julieta, people like Spartaga, people like Cohibas, you know. There's a lot. There's a lot of cigars in Cuba. But he made...
What do you co-sign? What do you co-sign?
I like Cohibas.
All right.
Let me ask you this. So, you were born there, you went to school there, raised there. In 1991 was when the Soviet Union collapsed, right? And the Soviet Union was the one that used to help Cuba to, send them stuff and helped Cuba out a lot. So, was there a big change? Like, I think it was December 25th, 1991 is when the Soviet Union collapsed. After that day, did you see a change before, the Soviet Union collapsed? And after, like, did you see a big change in how life was on the island?
Well, really, I was so young
Okay.
that I don't see anything happen. When all that happened, I was in school. I was not even thinking about
Right.
that. I was going home, eat. I see my mom crying about food and stuff. That stuff was getting harder and harder and harder. But when you kid, you're not worried about stuff
Right.
like that, man. You just want to go and play ball. And I live in by the ocean,
Right.
so I go.
Let me ask you, when you were living in Cuba as a kid, what was the food situation like? Like, was it hard to get food?
It was a little bit hard. It was a little bit hard, but every day you eat every day, man. Maybe you don't eat seafood every day or steak every day, but
Right.
you have something to eat.
Right.
Your mom always cook.
Yeah.
Mom always makes something.
What was the average typical meal you ate every day?
I used to like a lot of eggs, so I
Okay.
used to eat a lot of egg and
Right.
fried banana. So
Okay.
I don't care about too much about me. So.
Right.
But the typical food in Cuba, like ropa vieja, tostones, rice and beans.
Right.
So Cuba has a lot, man.
But like, did you have to go buy the food, or was it spread out? Like each family received a portion. How was that and stuff?
Both way. You receive a portion every month or every week. I don't remember. But then you can buy extra food.
Okay. So you have a certain allowance, and then you can
That the government
get more.
gave you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I love Cuba, man.
Right. But like, as far as like work over there, when you work, or did you get like a salary? Is it fixed salary? Do you get overtime? Like how did that system work?
It's a regular salary, so you don't get overtime. You don't get nothing like that.
So everybody on the island, regardless what you do,
It don't matter.
get,
You got different salary,
So there are different
Yeah,
salaries.
yeah.
Okay.
but you're never gonna get paid for overtime or nothing.
So does a waiter that works at a hotel, do they
They're gonna make money.
They make money,
a
so-
lot of money.
So how do you move up though? You got a shitty job. How do you move up?
Yeah.
Education, right?
Education.
Yeah.
You see, in Cuba, you're not gonna have a problem for education. You might have a shitty job because you want to get into a real good job. Because you qualify for something else, but the way you're supposed to get in, you get in from the bottom, and then you move up. You show your skills and you move up.
So what's the shitty job in Cuba?
I don't know, work for like a trash company or something like that. I remember that people used to make fun of those guys that they work in the trash.
Right,
truck.
collecting the trash would be
Yeah.
that's the worst job. And what's the best job to have over there?
Oh, doctor, right?
Doctor.
Doctor?
Military?
See, doctor don't make a lot of money,
Uh-huh.
but it's a fantasy to be a doctor. You know, like
Uh-huh.
when you say Cuba, he's a doctor. You know, it's like
Right,
like here maybe like he's a congressman or
Right.
he's a basketball player or something like that.
yeah.
Because doctor is something real. See, it's different level. You know,
Okay.
like, when you're a doctor in Cuba, people respect.
Uh-huh.
Yes, you know, even if you in the streets, they be like, doctor, hey, doctor. You know, any neighbor give you a little bit of coffee,
Uh,
they come and drink coffee with us.
Right.
You know, that's how it works in Cuba.
uh,
You probably don't have any money. Somebody gonna give you food, man.
right, right.
And I might don't have anything for
Yeah.
tomorrow, but
Right.
I'm gonna share with you tonight.
Yeah, that's how Colombia is and stuff.
He's telling the truth because I'm telling you, when I went there, people didn't know me from Adam, and people were like giving me cigars every day, like they were like, "Oh, you're the American guy," you know. But
El gringo.
el gringo, yeah, tú eres el gringo, tú eres el gringo. No, they say Yuma.
They don't call
The Yuma means like extranjero, like
Okay.
foreigner.
Right.
But that's their slang.
Okay.
They say Yuma. I said, you're the Yuma. Tú
Right.
eres Yuma, no? So like, yeah. So I remember one guy I met. He invited me to his house, and he's like, "I want to fix you shrimp."
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, no problem." So the guy, he was telling me his story. He was a fisherman. That was his trade, and he went to jail for 4 years in Cuba because the criminal system is hardcore
Uh-huh.
in Cuba. So this guy went to jail for like 4 years. And he's like, "Yeah, I did time in 4 years." I was like, "Well, what'd you do?" He's like, "Oh, I was stealing the seafood and I was selling it on the side."
Uh-huh.
And I'm assuming seafood's expensive. I'm sitting at the dude's house. I'm like, "Well, you ain't changed because you fixing me shrimp, brother." I said, "You have
He has a lot, though.
It was a big bowl of shrimp, Is shrimp expensive over there?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so it's probably stolen shrimp.
Seafood expensive in Cuba.
Seafood is expensive over there?
Why?
No, it's a big island.
Yeah.
You got actually a lot of sea and food.
Yeah, but that's not the type of seafood you're gonna see every day. You know, like shrimps, lobsters,
All right,
scallops. That's a like delicate food.
right. Delicacy.
Yeah.
So what's the so over there, do you have a lot of like foreigners that live over there, like people from other countries that have that live in Cuba and stuff?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You have people go to school in Cuba,
Yeah.
man.
Right.
I met a girl now that she born in U.S.
Uh-huh.
Her mom is from Salvador. And she moved to Cuba to go to medical school.
Mhm.
She's going to be there 8 years.
Okay.
23 years old later.
So what's her life like over there? What is what's
Believe
her
me, they're
experience?
going to put the keys on. She's going to have a family over there in 2-4 years.
Uh-huh.
She's going to meet somebody there.
Right.
She's going to,
Yeah.
and she's going to have a baby over there.
Yeah.
Now she don't coming back to U.S.
Right.
She's going to be a doctor. She's going to be doing stuff. And then, this is the thing, when you live in U.S. and you go back to country like Cuba, Colombia, you see the difference. You see how people they are have their heart, Like they don't have anything, but they share with you.
Right.
Here, they don't have
There's no neighbor love, basically.
nothing to
Right.
share.
Right.
They don't have anything to share.
Yeah.
And they have the closet full of things.
Uh-huh.
They need more.
Right.
And you need a T-shirt.
Yeah.
They can't give it to
Yeah.
you because they don't have enough.
Right. But for example, here you actually have poor people with flat screens watching TV, wanting more and stuff. It's backwards and stuff. Yeah.
That's what you see, man.
Yeah. But as far as what's the housing like over there? Like what's the
Man, let me give you a sample, man. I bought a TV. My mom called me one day and she said, "Baby, when you make enough money, I want you to buy me a TV with a size that anybody can watch the novela. Novela is like so popular.
Right, yeah. You know what novelas are.
Yeah. So I bought it like a 65 flat screen for her.
Right.
And you know, she shared that with all the girls in the neighborhood, man.
Oh, okay. So they all come over.
They all come over to watch the novelas and
Right.
my mom's TV.
Yeah.
She don't ask me for her. She asks me a TV for all her friends. That's something that really did.
Right.
So when I was in Cuba, I was sitting in the porch and I see all these old lady watching TV with my mom. It makes me so happy. I was looking, I was like, man, look at these ladies. And my mom she probably wants, if it was here, she want to have a TV in her room so nobody bother her.
Right.
No, she asked me for a big one so everybody can see the novela.
Right.
And you see the show, they bring the TV down to the sidewalk with the extension cord.
So the whole barrio
watching it.
It's like a movie out there.
That's tight.
That's the tight shit.
Right.
So you feel good about that, you know?
Right.
So let me tell you something. People, you put music in Cuba, anybody bring a bottle around and they start your party, and your party is going to start at 8 o'clock tonight, and you coming back tomorrow and it's still party.
Yeah.
People still party.
Yeah, that's true, man. Like his neighborhood, like you guys used to watch El Chavo and El Ocho and Chespirito. Remember how it was like a courtyard in the middle, and then like all the houses on the, that's how his neighborhood was, like his little, you know. And I remember like brought out dominoes. That's all we had to do is like bring out the dominoes, bring out like a bottle or two of rum. Everybody came out, brought chairs, had like a domino tournament out there.
And stuff.
You know, it's like a community thing, man. You know, you don't see that here.
Yeah,
in the US,
nah. Here, your neighbor is like,
and it was just like it was like nonstop. Everybody was there like all day long, and it was like, yo, go get more another bottle of rum, and go bam.
Right.
Bottle of rum was like $2 or $3, $4 at the the bodega. Like it was awesome, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's crazy over there, but as you know. It's like any other poor country. People is not worried about a lot of money. They don't even care about if you have a nice car or a nice bicycle. They don't care about that.
Right.
And you can see a doctor playing domino with you there.
Yeah.
And the singer, really famous singer, they just walk in the streets like, hey, what's up? Hey, come to la rumba.
Andavo.
They play in my backyard.
Yeah.
And the police come and say, why is so nosy? The neighbors they make complaint.
Right.
When they saw Yoruba Andavo play in my backyard, they bring 2 cars and close the
police?
Close the whole block.
Right.
And made them come outside and play in the whole street for everybody.
Right.
And that's how, you feel real. It's real.
Right.
That's a real love, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. For me, it's crazy.
Right.
And that's why, for me, it's emotional when people talk bad about someone do so much stuff. Everyone, including yourself, myself, you make mistakes.
Right.
Because you're human.
Right.
No one's perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
Right. I agree.
But when you do so much stuff and so much good stuff,
right,
you can't judge nobody, man. You don't have that power to judge anybody.
Right.
If you put yourself together and help that person to be better, you probably be able to give you an opinion. But if you don't do anything, your opinion is wrong. Always going to be wrong.
Right.
Because you're not doing anything for it.
Right.
To help. It's easy to criticize and say anything. Because it's easy. This is the human nature. It's like to say he's bad.
Right.
Speaking of like criticizing, how do you feel when you talk to other Cubans, like for example, Cubans in Miami that oppose your views on Castro?
Yeah, because we
saw a video.
there,
but how do you? Before we get into that,
confrontation.
how do you feel when you hear them?
On
protesting
anybody,
every
and
week?
I'm going to talk to everybody who feels that way. When your grandma has a TV, when your grandma has a bottle of oil to cook, you come and talk to me. Because you guys drive a Mercedes-Benz, have all those gold and necklace and all that, and your mom don't have a chair to sit in Cuba. That's how good you guys are. Rock a Mercedes-Benz in Miami Beach, but your mother don't have a TV to watch novela or cook at home. Okay, that's how you. When you do that better and the better way, you guys call me. Okay.
So there's folks. So what you're saying is that there's folks out there that they fled Cuba, and they're doing well, as they say here in the U.S. or whatever and stuff. Dressing nice, have fancy luxuries or whatnot, but they don't.
They wear
send anything
Gucci
back to
shoes.
Cuba.
They drive a Mercedes-Benz, and their mother don't have anything to cook
Back
over
home
there.
and in the land.
They drive a Mercedes-Benz, and they have gold, like a lot of gold, Rolex, all that, and your mom don't have anything to cook.
Now, question: how is it hard to send things to Cuba, or how does it work and stuff? Because obviously there's no.
The only thing you need to send is money, boy. Money. And your mom is going to be better. And don't believe that you send money to the government. You send money to your mom.
But to piggyback on something he was saying, man, like I've confronted other Cubans myself that, I'm telling you, the if you ever meet I don't know if you know any, but like Cubans from Miami, man, they're just so one way.
Yeah.
And I have a brother and a sister there, an uncle. I love them to death, but they're kind of like cut from the same
Right.
cloth.
They're like a different breed
There's
of
a
Latino. I mean,
different-
shout out to my
Yeah,
Cuban friends in
but
Miami.
they're
I got
just-
some and stuff, but
It's just different,
they're-
man.
yeah.
It's just very narrow-minded.
Hey, don't get me wrong, man. You know that I love you guys. I was there last weekend.
I love them.
Yeah.
I was there last weekend, and I have a good time with you guys.
I got Colombian
But
friends in Miami
what
that
I
are
wanted to-
almost
What I wanted to
Cubans and
say,
stuff.
But you guys too crazy, man.
what I wanted to say is I've had conversations with them where they're like denouncing, Castro and denouncing. They're like, just the United States is fuck the island, fuck this, fuck,
Yeah.
like don't help. And I'm like, wait a second. You still have family back there.
Right.
You don't think about them when you say
Yeah.
shit like
But
that.
the
So
thing is,
basically,
when
like
you
your
have
family.
you need to think about your mom
Right.
when you say stuff like that, and your mom is still over there.
Even if their mom is here.
It's hard. It's
Right.
hard. It's hard to talk like
so that's
that.
what
about.
I'm saying.
Even grandmom is there, your cousins, your brothers, somebody in there.
Exactly.
Someone is in there.
Now, let me ask you, how far does a U.S. dollar go in Cuba?
How far?
Yeah.
Well, when you switch
Like, what does
From
one
dollar
I don't know what it is now. When I got there, I was getting robbed.
Yeah, it was 80 cents.
So basically, you can't use your U.S. dollar. I don't know. You still can't.
you still can.
So you have to switch your dollar over to what's
A different peso or something?
They have two different Cuban pesos. They have the Cuban peso for the Cubans, and then they have the Cuban peso for the foreigners, el extranjero.
Oh, wow. So there's two different forms of currency.
right?
But it's the same value?
Yeah, kind of. So like a dollar for dollar in a sense. But I remember I would change a dollar and they would give me back 80 cents. So you're coming out less because at that time the Cuban government was taking 20% off the top just for doing the favor of changing those bills over for you. Like that was their tax.
The exchange rate.
The exchange rate, right. So, but like, for instance, if you went to the local bodega, like stuff was cheap there. You know, it was like you can get a bottle of rum like we're sipping now,
Right.
maybe for like $5, $6.
Okay.
Not bad, right?
Right.
But this is a nice quality rum here, Havana Club. But
Shout out,
you do
Havana
commercial
Club.
now?
Yeah. Havana Club, we are looking for endorsements. We could be your number one sponsor.
this stuff's changing. But what I was gonna say was, but if you went out to the nightclub, right? Then you feel it, you know. Like you go to a nightclub, a drink is same as here. At that time, 2006, it was a beer was $6.
Right.
You pay that here now, don't you? In some places, right?
Right.
So they're taking 20%. You're paying more for that beer.
Right.
So the exchange rate really doesn't help you. I mean, I don't know going forward if things are going to change or what have you.
But what do you mean? There's two different currencies.
Yeah. So they have the Cuban peso. They have the Cuban peso for lo cubano, right? And then they have a peso for the extranjero. It's two different currency, right?
Yeah. Well, I like to have both of them. You know, I have.
They only gave me one when I changed my money.
Yeah, but then you can change that one for Cuban pesos, and you can have both.
Okay.
Both of them.
But they accepted it everywhere. The both currencies. It
See,
wasn't
when you pay with a dollar in Cuba, you can pay with one they call CUC. That's the currency over there.
That's the one I had, right?
CUC. So when you pay with one CUC, you can pay with 25 pesos. It's the same thing. It's the same value, you know.
Okay.
So it don't matter what kind of you use. You're gonna pay 25 pesos or one CUC. So
I still have a CUC at home. I should have brought the bill. I have a $3 bill CUC with Che.
Oh,
Che Guevara.
Who's on the Cuban currency?
we have Jose Marti, and then one peso. And then tres, we have Che. Cinco, we have Camilo. No. Cinco tenemos a Máximo Gómez. No, mentira. Cinco no sé ni quién es. El 10 es Máximo Gómez. 20 Camilo. 50 no sé quién es. Y el 100 tampoco sé quién es.
So Castro is not on the bill.
No.
Wow.
Look at that.
Well, look at that, yo. Castro running the place, and he never requested to be on a dollar bill.
Why he had to be on a dollar bill with all the dollar bills that belong to him?
Right.
Papá, manéjate mejor, papá.
That's good though.
Facts right there, yo.
Right there.
Wow, interesting facts. I never knew that. Interesting things there.
No. Déjame decirte algo. Cuba es tan linda, bro, de que a veces si te pones a pensar las cosas feas, si tú miras las cosas feas de este país, you know,
Hay muchas cosas. Yeah.
if you look at everything and the bad side,
Yeah.
you never want to come to U.S.
Right.
And you have to learn how to lead. That's why you come to this world.
Yeah.
Because you have to learn how to lead.
Right.
You have to learn how to walk. You have to learn how to sing. You have to learn how to work,
Right.
make money, survive.
Right.
And then you have to pass that to your kid.
Yeah.
You can't do that for yourself. You have to do it and then show somebody else too.
Mm-hmm.
That's a strong thing.
Yeah.
So you might did it right, you might did it wrong.
Right.
And you show your kids wrong, but you show it with love.
Yeah.
You was wrong. So you don't mean to show him in the wrong way,
Yeah.
but you did it wrong anyway.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? My point?
Yeah.
So it's
you
hard.
could be the guide and stuff. There's different paths to take.
And you think you're doing really good,
Right.
but you're doing it wrong.
Right.
Because that's somebody else's opinion.
Right. Now, have you ever thought about going back to Cuba to
I'd
live?
love to do that.
Uh-huh.
Actually,
I too would like to do that. Just let the record be straight. I would like to be there one day.
Like go retire there?
no, I don't want to go and retire.
I would like to retire there.
If I go, I'll go now when I'm John. I don't want to be there all. What I'm gonna do when I'm there? Oh, pay medicine and
But if you think, wouldn't it be ideal to retire there? Because, I mean, you got all the doctors, the health benefits, the
I know,
beach.
but if you retire there, you retire here. It's the same thing. Retire.
Right.
Your money is only good for medicine.
Yeah,
you know.
Food for thought. I just had to look this up, man, since we're talking about like benefits. Cuba, the literacy rate in the United States here, right, is 86%, meaning 14% of the population in the United States can't read.
Right.
Do you know what it is in Cuba?
What is that?
99.8%
Wow. Right.
of the population can read.
Right.
Think about that for a moment.
Can you
what's
say
the
thank
population
you?
in Cuba?
Can you say thank you to Fidel Castro for doing that?
The population in Cuba right now, I think it should be, what, the 12 million? What's the population?
14.
14 million
Can you
people?
say thank you? Say thank you, Castro, Fidel Castro, to teach to make
Google says-
time and teach
Google says
everyone to read and write. That's what he do.
That's
But
amazing.
nobody talk about that because that's not good for them.
That's amazing.
You know.
That's crazy, though.
And we don't have a homeless in Cuba.
There's no homeless in Cuba?
And you don't pay your rent, you're not going nowhere. That's your house. You don't have no mortgage.
What's the statistic that says 15%
What's that?
poverty rate?
That was in Google. I don't know. I'll check up.
50% poverty rate.
Any
But
damn-
it's still a lot better.
Poverty?
Yeah, but it's still a lot
No,
better.
that was just the population of reading.
We have all the money of the world, and we have what we have.
In Cuba?
Yeah.
Right.
But that's
Nosotros que tenemos
that's
todo el
still a lot.
dinero del mundo en los Estados Unidos.
It's a lot better than here.
No,
Yeah.
not in here, not in U.S. and Northwest. How many homeless you know in Northwest? Washington, D.C.
Sure.
Tons?
I'd have to count the blocks.
They had about 3 or 4 of them begging for money on the way over here.
That's what I'm
Stop the
saying.
lights.
So only in Northwest D.C. you have, I believe, you have more homeless than you have in Cuba.
I believe that.
That's crazy. And this is the capital of the U.S. Like a lot of folks like that who have never been to D.C. have no idea that there's like projects literally blocks away from the capital. You know what I'm saying?
Can I say something, bro?
Yeah.
I went to Atlanta, and every time I moved out of Washington, D.C., that I take a plane to any other city in U.S., I'm scared. Because I never, I confirm.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I move somewhere, I go somewhere, I said, oh my God. D.C., Washington, D.C., is the best city in the United States. For myself, that's my opinion. I don't know if that's real fact, but
For employment, for
my opinion,
education, it's
one of the best, and I believe it's the best. And we still see homeless, man,
Yeah.
everywhere. You go to a metro, you go anywhere. We went to New York, and the train station. What is it called? The
Grand
Penn
Central?
Station?
what?
Penn Station.
Penn Station?
The train station?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean here?
Union City.
You talking about here?
Yeah.
Union
You talking about Union
Station?
Station?
Union Station.
Yeah, here in D.C.
In D.C. is Union
My
Station.
God, people sleeping inside
Yeah,
the
sleeping outside.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I work right next to it. Every time I go in the mornings, people sleeping outside.
It's crazy. And so how can Obama?
There's homeless people sleeping across from the White House.
Yeah. And
Real talk.
Franklin Square.
Homeless people sleeping right across the White House.
That's true.
You know what I mean? That's all I gotta say.
That's
That's all I gotta say.
Lafayette Park.
And there's a lot of homes out there for, been foreclosed.
That's true, man. Like in
know what I
Cuba,
mean?
I didn't see homeless.
Hey guys, you guys born here.
Yeah.
You probably can answer this question. Do you believe that U.S. don't have money to provide housing for all those people in the streets?
They do have money, but then it comes to the fact of who's gonna pay for them.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, you're comparing, say like Cuba and most of the countries in the world are small. small countries, they can afford free education, they can afford stuff like that, but you gotta keep in mind what the country's also paying for aside from education, aside from.
Well, how can a poor country can afford it to pay for education?
Because you guys don't have corporate influence like America does.
There's corporate influence.
Because think about it, if the government paid for housing, who are they fucking over? They're fucking over
Chase Manhattan Bank.
Yeah,
Well,
banks, the loans, the interest could pay. It's the same thing with the jail system. With the jail system, look who benefits off the jails and stuff.
Companies.
You know what I mean?
Congressman.
But not just congressmen. Think of the phone companies. Think of all those companies that sell those products in commissary and stuff.
Well, the Congress people and senators and they buy the email's number.
Yeah.
That's a retirement plan with them. They provide the unicorns. They belong to the government.
Right.
Because that's why the death penalty is now good, because it doesn't cost anybody money.
Right.
I mean, the longer the inmate is in
there, there's more money and stuff that you can make off of it.
Exactly. So I mean, like I said, we're corporate.
This is the thing. Look at what Castro did, man. Castro. All those people in Cuba who has HIV, he prepared a neighborhood. If you don't have a job, you can't work because you're sick. You have your house right there. Mm-hmm. Free doctor, free medication, free housing, and nobody mess with you.
Right.
How he can do that with no money and yours cannot? You see, you have people dying every day here because they don't have the medication.
Right.
You go to the doctor and you don't have.
There's a lot of.
So it's corporate influence.
Corporate, think about it. Think of all those the doctors here are drug dealers, basically. You know what I mean? They're legal drug dealers.
Do you ever
being
see
a
those
drug dealer
commercials?
on the street is a backwards hustle. Yo.
Do you see those commercials? Do you see those commercials that say, "Oh, if you take this medicine, please call us. You probably make some money."
Right.
Because they give you that medicine before to fix your problem, but they make you sick in the other side of your body.
No, but you even see those commercials. It's like, yo, take this for your headaches, but hey, this may cause death. It may cause,
diarrhea.
You've been taking Advil or Tylenol for 20 years, and one day they decide to say Tylenol is not good anymore. They give you cancer.
But exactly, but that's what I'm saying. It's corporate influence. You know, who you like.
They make money, man. That's what they say in Cuba. They say the U.S. do not work and fix and find cures because they make more money with medicine than the cure. If they find the cures of cancer or something like that, they're not going to make money.
Right.
They're going to cut the business. And it's a business for them. The insurance, the medicals, the doctors, everybody make money with that. The insurance, they come to the doctors. The factories, they come to the doctor and show, like this Havana Club. It's a drink my drink. The companies, they come to the doctor and say, if you sell my medication, you're going to make some money. And you see, you go to see the doctor with a pen and they say, drink this.
Right.
It's because the company comes to them and tell them to offer this to your client.
Right.
Huh?
That's how it works.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
So
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff, yo.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about the hip-hop artists that have said comments about Castro? Because you heard about Nas. Nas dropped some comments and he got a lot of backlash.
But it was a pro comments that he made.
Yeah, it wasn't pro. You know, he gave shout outs to his Cuban family and whatnot. You know, rest in peace, King Fidel Castro. You know, but he got a lot of backlash on it and stuff.
That's what being an American is. People are just gonna have different, opinions, man.
Yeah.
You know.
They don't make anything. They don't mean anything.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
No, but if
And
you're
I-
paying
but
respect,
let me tell you
you're paying
something.
But you know, hip hop. But he's paying respect because
That's what I'm saying.
Because a lot of
I respect what anyone had to say about
right.
Cuba or Castro or any other person in Cuba. But you also have to respect what I say. You know? And I have friends. I have friends who has a different opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And we're friends.
Yeah.
We're friends. And it's not going to change because it's a lot of stuff that to be good, you have to switch and recognize
Right.
what is good and what is bad.
Right.
Everything is not good. Same thing here.
Right. Right.
Everything is not good.
Right. Not everything is here. Is las flores que te han pintado and stuff.
That's right.
You know.
Did you imagine that you're gonna have Donald Trump
Mhm.
as the president of
Yeah.
the United States?
I
Yeah.
didn't.
Huh? Did you imagine that?
Huh? I did.
But some people say that dude is an amazing businessman.
Right.
He's gonna put the country at the top.
Right.
Can you believe that?
When you think about it, when you look at the foundation of this country, there's a lot of corporations involved in the politics. It's like maybe he will.
I
be
believe
all right.
that.
That's why
That's why I'm
that.
like, you know,
That's why
maybe he
I
will be
believe
all
that.
right.
But
Yeah.
this is the thing. When he talk all the crazy shit that he talk,
Right.
it makes you think that dude is crazy.
Yeah.
How can you believe
I
a
don't
dude like
think he's
that?
crazy. I think he's a hypnotist. Like I've heard, he's a hypnotist. He knows how to hypnotize people and make them
Went down the rabbit hole now.
He used.
yeah.
That's why I think that the
He know who has the power and the
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
and he know how to play with his sense,
Right,
with
right.
his feeling.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he know how to he know how to
Yeah.
swing.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
I mean,
let me give a little bit
Think
of.
about it, he's been on TV for the longest time. He knows what people.
Yeah.
react
He
to.
knows. He's using.
Do
the
you
media.
remember his show?
Yeah, Princess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
That he used to say, "You fired."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy for him because
Yeah.
he has so much power,
Mhm.
and he knows how to do stuff like that.
Exactly.
He know how to play with your brain.
So people, I found an interesting fact that the planet Mercury, which is the closest planet to the sun, comes close to the sun on January 19th, which is the day before the inauguration. Mercury is also like a Roman god, which is a goddess for the messenger, and also, was dealt with a lot of finances and dealt with a lot of communication, and was also brought souls to the underworld.
man, you on some Illuminati shit. Illuminati.
Well, you translate it however you want to translate it. You know what I'm saying? That's all I gotta say.
That he belong to those people, man.
Hey,
His name is Cero Mundo.
Cero Mundo. Caballero, can I say something, man?
Go ahead.
Because these guys, we got three guys at the table, man, and myself. They speak so good English. My English, I'm not drunk. My English fucked up like that.
your English is very good looking.
No.
Hey, but guess what? I
I know people like my accent. You know,
bet
they
you
say
your
like,
English-
man, your accent is like Tony
Your English
Montana.
is better than my Spanish. My Spanish is machucado. Como ellos
Yeah,
So-
but this guy, they born in U.S., so the English perfect.
Hey, you got that exotic English.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Like that foreign car.
I have like the Mercedes-Benz English.
That Lara, like a Soviet Lara English.
It's not that I'm drunk. My English like that.
Oh man, it's a good show, yo. The MicroOndas, yo. I don't even want to wrap up, but I know it's coming about that time. We run about 1:20 right now.
Yeah.
What you say? Wrap it up?
Let's wrap it
We're
up.
gonna do 2 hours or what?
Huh? Yo, I think Paquito want to go for 2.
They got an energy, man.
I really like this shit, man.
Yeah,
They
that's
got that Havana Club energy. That's what you got.
I'm almost done. The bottle's gone.
Oh, sorry. Shout out Havana Club for
Make it our night good.
yeah, make it our night here tonight. We will take that check any way you want to send it to us. Also, shout out to our sponsors, the Green Room Smoke Shop, located in Columbia Heights. You make sure you check them out for any glass pipes, for your rolling papers, for all of your smoking needs. If you're into vapes, any smoking products, incense, make sure you
If you
come
want to
check
get
them out.
higher, smoke hookah.
Yeah, you
Come
got the
down
hookah
and check 'em
products
out.
here as well, located in historic Columbia Heights in Washington, D.C. It is the Green Room Smoke Shop off of Park Road and 14th. You can't miss it. Right under Los Hermanos Restaurant.
Yes, baby. Yes, baby. It's 1426 Park Road, Northwest Washington, D.C., man. Come and see me. I'll take care of you.
All right, any
Yeah,
last
yeah.
words, guys?
Yeah, anything else?
Only last words I want to say, man, is just like I know today I've been seeing a lot of posts on social media, man, and again, it doesn't matter what side of this issue that we've been discussing today with the death of Fidel Castro. Just always keep in mind, like, my whole thing is, hey, it doesn't matter if you're anti-Castro and if you're pro-Castro, if you're outside of Cuba.
Right.
The only opinion that matters at this point should be those of the people on the island that live it and breathe it every day and that are going to be affected by this.
Right.
If there's change to begin with. All I pray for and I hope for is that they live in peace, that they live happy, and in the future that they have prosperity. So that's all that I want to leave it with. That.
My words with Fidel Castro is that I admire him. He's a Hispanic, un Latino, una persona hispana that stood for so long. You know what I mean? He rebelled against a certain mentality that the world was being introduced to, and I think that's dope and stuff. I look at him, it's kind of like Pablo Escobar. Like, a lot of people have negative thoughts to Pablo Escobar, but at the end of the day, Pablo Escobar, he made Forbes, he helped the poor people out, but at the same time, he also was involved in the killings, and a lot of murders was also behind that and stuff. But as we should look at all humans and stuff, we should always look, towards the positive side. We can't look at the negative, because a lot of folks out there, there's always a negative to you and stuff, but you got to look at things through the positive side, because if you always sink down in the negative, you're going to sink through that negative rabbit hole and stuff, you know what I mean? So always look through the positive, and that's what I gotta say. I don't know if that's the alcohol speaking.
No, it's good, man. Respect.
No, and we get to keep in mind that this is all part of our history as Latinos in the United States.
Yeah.
It's something that we should hold dear no matter what country we're from. Where there's many of us, and we should just keep on being united. Yeah.
One thing that I want to say is it's not only for Cubans. As a Spanish, we have to get together as a one community.
Absolutely.
And you see how good we're going to do. Because the thing is, we start something, but we have to finish. And not only for us, for other generations that's going to come on. Yeah. Like your son, your grandson, everyone. When you have a good foundation, you're always going to have good way to go. Because the foundation is the more important thing you can have. If you provide a good foundation to your family, you're gonna have a good family. And that's the only thing that I have to say, because everyone said, no, I'm Spanish, no, I'm Latino. We all one. If we believe that we all one, no one can beat us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think it's also that Castro should be recognized as a leader and something positive. So we don't have a lot of, it's not too many leaders and stuff. I mean, he's now part of history and something to be recognized and stuff. So it's good to have and stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah. Rest in peace, Fidel Castro. I hope you out there smoking cigars with Malcolm X and Tupac
and Biggie.
And Biggie.
They're probably gonna try to pass you a joint. Don't do it.
Descanse en paz, mi comandante. Yeah. This is the MicroOnda Podcast. Love us or hate us. Make sure you subscribe, drop a comment, and tune in. Check us out for our next episode. Also, make sure you check out our previous episodes as well. Subscribe, tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell amigo, to tell otro amigo. Yo, this is Cero Mundo with Johnny Quest, Marvin M.A. the engineer. Our special guest today, Chico. Yeah.
Yo.
We are out.
Dale.
Peace.
Gracias por escuchar nuestro podcast. Adiós, come mierda.
No me invitaron, pero el tema lo tuve que hacer. Se fastidiaron. Estoy aquí como lo pueden ver. Listo, vengo con la bendición de Cristo. Soy lo que esos chamacos no han visto. Pónganse en firme, que va a comenzar la función. Luces, cámara, acción. Yo. Suba aquí, ven. Ahí. Dime. Como los pandas, solo, no necesito una banda. Habla todo lo que tú quieras, que yo no creo en propaganda. Mi fundamento es otra cosa, no solo fiesta y parranda. Socio, deje ese cuento, dale camineando pa' que te manda. Líricamente lo tengo en dieta blanda. De la caldosa, yo soy la carne, socio, tú eres la vianda. Panda, tápate con una bufanda. Tengo un flow que quema, socio, yo tú me mudo por Holanda. Como los pandas, vamos a salir a guerrear. Tú me conoces, ¿cómo te vas a comparar? Lo que tú pienses, ven y dímelo de frente. Que a ustedes les encanta hablar por detrás de la gente. No me invitan a grabar, saben de que los falsos. El tipo está pegado, a los fanáticos les da un infarto. ¿Cómo es posible que dedica a la academia mate a esa gente? Paso y ni me saludan, yo sé por dentro cómo se sienten. Porque en un tema dicen lo que yo digo en una sola barra. Voy y me paro en la goma y la meto contra la pizarra. Narra, graba, que este es mi fan del tema que faltaba. Otra cosa por encima de ustedes por si lo dudaban. Como los pandas, como los guapos, como los duros, como los capos. Tú eres un penco, tú eres un sapo. Tú no le metes flow de trapo. ¿Y qué pasó? Tal parece que se les olvidó lo que aprendieron, lo poco que saben. ¿Quién carajo se los enseñó? Tírate y ven, chamaco ven. No te compares, tú eres un Nissan, yo un Mercedes-Benz. A mí no me importa quién, no. Dale, invítalo también, sí. Que tú ni 100 pueden con esto tú lo sabes, man. Como los pandas, vamos a salir a guerrear. Tú me conoces, ¿cómo te vas a comparar? Lo que tú pienses, ven y dímelo de frente. Que a ustedes les encanta hablar por detrás de la gente. Como los pandas, vamos a salir a guerrear. Tú me conoces, ¿cómo te vas a comparar? Lo que tú pienses, ven y dímelo de frente. Que a ustedes les encanta hablar por detrás de la gente. Ven que voy a enseñarte cómo es que se hace, deja la rutina. A ustedes un tipo les paga, no tienen talento arriba en la tarima. Son una mentira, no tienen ni flow y son un desastre cuando hacen el show. Compra la letra, compra la pauta, no son originales, bro. Tú que pensaste que no podía y mira lo que ha pasado. Como me envidian, como me tiran, pero no me han matado. ¿Qué es lo que pasa? Voy a tener que poner el orden en la casa. Voy a tener que tirar algunos a la calle desde la terraza. ¿Qué le pasó a la perrera? ¿Dónde están los perros de raza? Que tiren los de ellos para afuera, que dejen ya las amenazas. Guasa, es lo que son payasos. Tienen que hacer lo que yo he hecho para que les haga caso. Como los pandas, vamos a salir a guerrear. Tú me conoces, ¿cómo te vas a comparar? Lo que tú pienses, ven y dímelo de frente. Que a ustedes les encanta hablar por detrás de la gente. Como los pandas, vamos a salir a guerrear. Tú me conoces, ¿cómo te vas a comparar? Lo que tú pienses, ven y dímelo de frente. Que a ustedes les encanta hablar por detrás de la gente. La historia del que aprendió es que se le olvidó de que el que lo enseñó siguió aprendiendo. Eddie K, la academia, Mauro, el código secreto. La di, la acompaño ni. Panda, panda.